Good morning, Spooked Out. It's Halloween Eve, and things are definitely going to be a bit different this year. This morning, we've got everything you need to know to stay safe. Plus, the MAC is back after COVID-19 forced a halt to sports competition, set to return to BSU this week, and we're getting you ready. Our sports team has a preview of the MACtion, and comfortable conditions, cool temperatures are on the way for this weekend. We've got your trick-or-treating forecast in moments. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
From Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather, live from the Ball State Weather Center.
A little bit of Ghostbusters to start off your Friday morning. Thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Tyler Brummett. The more appropriate song would probably be All By Myself. I am alone this morning. Our good friend Annie Keister is off this morning. Don't worry, everything is fine. She will hopefully be back with us next week. But again, it is the day before Halloween, so we've got a lot to talk about. There are several events this weekend, so before we get things underway, let's go ahead and talk about some of those events. So trunk or treating, it's going to be one of those alternative things this year because of social distancing and stuff like that. 2 trunk or treating events are going to happen in Muncie. So the first one is tonight at Heacon Park. That's going to be happening from 6 to 8. Then another trunk or treat event is going to be at City Hall tomorrow from 5 to 8. And then trick-or-treating is still happening here in Delaware County. Daleville is going to have trick-or-treating from 5:30 to 8 tomorrow. In Yorktown, 6 to 8 tomorrow. We've got a full list online at ballstatedaily.com. And by the way, it's important to remember to be safe, especially with COVID-19. So health experts are issuing some advice for trick-or-treaters. So here's what you need to know. You need to remember to wear a mask. So the costume masks, they are not going to suffice it. You gotta wear a normal coronavirus mask, the ones that we've really been using here throughout this whole pandemic. Also, don't forget to wash your hands regularly. That's a really important piece of the puzzle if you want to continue to stay safe and, of course, practice that physical distancing. And if you're giving out the candy, a lot of the same things really apply, but you're going to want to make sure that you are as safe as you can be for people that are coming to your home. You're going to want to do this all outside. Experts recommend having a setup station available as a centralized location. And by the way, as Nathan Gidley comes into the equation now, some health departments are saying that it's just too risky, but we are excited around here to really get the spooky day underway tomorrow.
I mean, Halloween's one of my favorite holidays. I mean, who
Absolutely.
doesn't love free candy, Tyler?
Yeah, of course. What's your favorite candy?
Oh, boy, that's a tough one. I could go with Kit Kat.
Ooh, interesting. So more of a chocolate kind of a guy.
Yeah, nice shareable little candy there. But this forecast here is going to be a treat heading into this weekend after a couple of nasty Halloweens here. Let's take a first look here at local weather. As you're heading outside this morning, it is a chilly morning outside here today. We're seeing at 40 degrees here in Muncie. Some locations here in the 30s, 36 in Lafayette, and 32 over there in Peoria. Here over the next 12 hours, we're going to see temperatures rise up into the 40s, closer to the upper 40s for some locations by the evening hours today, as we start to see more sunshine start to come out across the area by later this afternoon. Radar looking clear this morning, just seeing a few of those clouds moving their way through. That's nothing compared to what moved through yesterday, as we had a lot of rain showers yesterday, and we see the remnants of Hurricane Zeta still trying to move its way out there along the eastern seaboard there. So certainly we're looking nice and quiet here across our section of the country, and that's going to be the stories we head into next week as well. Take a look at what we're tracking here. A cool Friday ahead, but a beautiful Halloween forecast is in store, and we do see a warming trend as well coming next week. I'm going to have all those details coming up in my full forecast. Tyler?
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. And we heard Nathan mention it for a brief moment there. Hurricane Zeta is now a post-tropical cyclone, and it left damage and uncertainty in its path from the Gulf Coast to the Atlantic coast. Nadia Romero has the latest for us this morning.
After making landfall in southeast Louisiana Wednesday night as a strong Category 2 hurricane, Zeta tore a path from the Gulf to the Atlantic, killing at least 6 people and leaving more than 2 million in the dark. High winds toppling power lines and trees across the region, crushing homes and cars.
We heard this real loud snap and then just a crash.
And blocking roads, stopping drivers in their tracks.
I'm not going to be able to make it to my destination to pick up a load and make a living.
Just 5 days before the election, power outages impacting several early voting sites from Louisiana to Georgia.
We've got an election coming up on Tuesday. So we need to make sure we get the polling places restored.
While in North Carolina, high winds forcing President Trump to postpone a Thursday night campaign rally.
Bad weather, the wind was terrible.
As residents also contended with flooded streets
Every road was blocked.
and homes.
Got up about 6:30, everything was still in the banks. By 7:30, it started coming out in the yards.
Nearing the end of a record-breaking hurricane season, people across the region grateful to have made it through yet another storm.
But I guess it's just the grace of God we are all okay.
As communities come together to pick up the pieces.
What I want to say to the people that have lost so much is really just simply we care. People care.
I'm Nadia Romero reporting.
And before slamming into the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Zeta did hit Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Take a look right here. These pictures really showing the damage left behind in Playa del Carmen, one of Mexico's most popular tourism destinations. Zeta made landfall north of Tulum, Mexico, as a Category 1 hurricane Monday night. It brought heavy rain and possible storm surge to a region struck by Delta just 3 weeks ago, and it did weaken to a tropical storm but strengthened back into a hurricane over the Gulf of Mexico before reaching the U.S. Wednesday. Of course, we'll stay up to date on that. And now to Kansas we go. Falling trees in Kansas led to major power outages in Arkansas City after a winter storm. A spokesperson for one of the power companies said a substation issue knocked out power to at least 7,300 residents. Power was restored to most of those customers, but sporadic outages kept occurring throughout the day as more lines were damaged by falling tree branches. More than 1/8 of an inch of ice covered trees, leaves, street signs, as well as grass across the city. The extra weight caused limbs to break, and branches fell on nearly every street throughout the city. Overseas we go. Japan's prime minister says his country aims to be carbon neutral by 2050. In his first policy speech since taking office, the prime minister said his administration will put the maximum effort to set a cycle in the economy as well as the environment. Japan has been criticized in the past by environmental groups. The country emitted 1.36 billion U.S. tons of greenhouse gas in 2018. That's down 3.9% from previous years and 12% down from its peak back in 2013. Greenpeace welcomed the move, saying it is precisely the kind of action the world needs, but said the commitment must have policy to match it. Also, Google is teaming up with a government agency for climate research. The tech giant will focus on how technology can help with NOAA's research. Specifically, Google will explore the benefits of artificial intelligence and machine learning when it comes to the use of satellite and environmental data. These projects will hopefully enhance NOAA's ability to research climate, monitor the environment, and forecast the weather. They also hope it could lead to some technical innovation. The agreement is for 3 years between Google and NOAA. Just ahead, much more ahead here on Waking Up with Cardinal Weather. COVID-19 still wreaking havoc across the state of Indiana in moments when state health officials expect the first doses of a new vaccine to make its way here to the state. That's all after your weather now. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We're getting your Friday morning started here. 8:09 is the time. That is a live look right now over part of campus. As you can see, clear skies. I know I was outside a bit earlier and it was chilly out there. Of course, we'll keep you updated on your weather forecast, but we do want to talk about your coronavirus headlines here this morning. Let's start off with a campus story. President Jeffrey Merns announced yesterday the university plans to include 3 study days next semester. This comes after students expressed difficulty navigating a fall semester with absolutely no breaks. University officials say on those study days, Some professors may decide to hold class and review old material, while other professors might have a different activity for the day. Officials also say there is going to be some flexibility in how professors choose to use that time, but students will remain on campus. At least they're expected to. These days, students are supposed to stay on campus. The president of the Student Government Association, Connor Sanborn, says he's grateful for this change.
Wouldn't say that it's the best thing we can do, but I'm grateful that we're able to even have these 3 days where professors will take it easy on us and allow us to try and relax.
And university officials tell us right now it's unknown when exactly those study days will be, and some other details are still kind of in the works to be figured out. Of course, we'll stay on top of this. And in some state COVID news right now, state officials provide an update this week to the pandemic response. Indiana leaders talked about the plan to get a vaccine available for people in Indiana as soon as they can. The first doses are expected to arrive early next month. The current plan calls for initial doses to be given to those in high-risk categories, including healthcare workers. State officials say as concern grows over the number of cases in Indiana, they hope this is a big help.
This is a widely available vaccine to all people of all ages is still months away. So keep wearing your mask, washing your hands, and practicing social distancing. They're the best tools that we have right now.
Also at the briefing, you saw right there, State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box was back in person after a battle with COVID-19. Box says she and her family have all recovered from the virus, so some good news there. And nationwide, the U.S. is breaking COVID-19 records. More than 40 states are seeing record new numbers when it comes to cases and hospitalization. Karen Kafa has the latest this morning from Washington.
With record-breaking daily numbers of U.S. COVID cases, experts forecast more trouble ahead.
We know we're now going to be pushing cases well north of 100,000 cases a day very soon.
The U.S. is now averaging more than 74,000 new coronavirus cases per day, with numbers rising in more than 40 states.
I'm quite concerned as we see this explosive increase in cases because it's going to be followed by more hospitalizations as it already has, and then inevitably more deaths.
States in the Midwest are experiencing that rise in hospitalizations. Doctors there say it's not time to look back on why numbers have climbed, but look ahead to how to curb them.
We can spend a lot of time lamenting what may have caused that, whether it's change in weather, back to school, high school and college sports, whether it's pandemic fatigue. But whatever it is, we just need to continue to deal with it.
In New York City, which felt the worst of the nation's first wave this spring, the focus is on keeping a second at bay.
We have a threat from everywhere around us, and a growing threat. So we've put some restrictions in place in some areas that need it.
The Commerce Department says U.S. economic growth shattered records from July through September, rebounding from spring depths to grow at an annual rate of 33.1%. But economists warn recovery will stall if the virus isn't tamed. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And we want to talk a little more now about coronavirus vaccines. The government is planning to pay for any future coronavirus vaccines for all Americans. So here's the deal. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they made the announcement on Wednesday. The agency says it will pay for any vaccine authorized or approved by the Food and Drug Administration, while the federal government is paying for the vaccine. Insurers, including Medicare and Medicaid, as well as private plans, must cover the cost of administering it. This is a costly undertaking. The agency says if the 62 million people in the Medicare program got vaccinated, it would cost around $2.6 billion. In some consumer news, you will soon be able to get a COVID-19 antibody test at any Kroger store. The company announced the new quick test. The move makes Kroger the first U.S. retailer to offer rapid antibody testing to customers. The tests are taken by a finger prick blood sample at a cost of just $25. The COVID-19 tests are expected to be ready at all Kroger pharmacies and clinics by the end of next month. And we're going to take a quick time out in just a moment. With the election just days away, one astronaut is making sure she does her civic duty. We'll tell you how she's doing it after a message from Mitch. Don't go anywhere.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
Once again, a live look outside. As you can see, it looks like some people are getting their day started here on campus. 8:15 is the time. Let's go ahead now and talk about some space news here on this Friday morning. For the first time ever, NASA is confirming there is water below the surface of the moon. This is interesting. The agency announced the discovery earlier this week. The amount of water discovered was very small, just a fraction of what you would find in the Sahara Desert. A separate study indicated there could be more water in tiny lunar ice patches that are protected from the sun. NASA says that water could be a crucial resource for future moon missions. Interesting stuff there. And the U.S. presidential election is now reaching space. Take a look at this right here. In a tweet, NASA astronaut Kate Rubbins announced that she voted on the International Space Station. This is cool. Rubbins cast her vote in a secure electronic ballot form in a makeshift voting booth. Rubbins also voted from the International Space Station back in 2016 during that election. In October, Rubbins said that it is crucial for people to participate in our democracy.
Legislation passed a number of years ago to allow astronauts to vote in space. I think a lot of astronauts do this. They feel that it's very important. It's critical to participate in our democracy. We consider it an honor to be able to vote from space, and so we fill out a form and we vote via absentee ballot. And if we can do it from space, then I believe folks can do it from the ground too.
Weather out there.
Yeah, certainly better news this year compared to last year's Halloween. I mean, take a look at this. Remember last year we had some trick-or-treating canceled for some locations. We saw temperatures drop to right around freezing by the evening, that high of 49 occurring early on in the day. Very windy day with a maximum wind gust of 45 miles per hour, seeing some rain and snow throughout the evening. Completely different story here this year. This forecast is a treat here, folks, this year. 58 degrees this year for the high temperature, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be a little bit windy though. We'll get into that here just a little bit later on in the forecast. A nice morning here today. We're just seeing a few of those clouds starting to decrease across the area. Decreasing clouds will be the story here throughout the day today, as we do see northwest flow setting up across the area, leading to some cooler temperatures across the area today. 40 the current temperature here in Muncie, 34 only in Indianapolis here this morning. Good morning to you in Kokomo. You're sitting at 33 degrees. Now, some locations are colder compared to this time yesterday. That's as a result of some locations breaking free of that cloud cover a little bit earlier compared to where we are here in east central Indiana. Now, as we time out the temperatures here throughout the rest of the day, warming up to around the upper 40s today, so not too bad. Make sure to have that jacket with you today. Then a nice cold night expected ahead. Could see temperatures dropping quite considerably. Could see temperatures around freezing for some locations or below as we time you wake up tomorrow morning. Throughout your Halloween here, nice temperatures expected up into the 50s, upper 50s expected for some locations before a cold front starts to move through by Sunday morning, dropping temperatures considerably all throughout the day on Sunday. So Halloween is the pick of the weekend coming up here. Throughout the day today, 41 by 9 o'clock, 44 by noon, and 48 by our evening commute here tonight. Low temperatures quite cool tonight, 30 degrees, areas of frost with those clearing skies. We are looking at a freeze warning still in effect for Wayne County down here in Richmond. Other locations, the growing season has come to an end already, so be sure to cover up those crops or plants if you still have any of those outside tonight. As we look at the wind gusts, though, heading into Halloween here, we certainly crank up the winds considerably throughout the day here, especially by the time we get to Saturday night, heading into the day on Sunday behind that cold front. Wind gusts over 30 miles per hour by the time you wake up on Sunday, still hanging around 20 plus miles per hour here, so certainly a very, very windy day expected on Sunday. That continues all throughout the day as well. Now let's take a closer look here at the trick-or-treat hours. I'm going to break it down like this guy is here. Check this out here. 56 by 6 o'clock. Great temperatures expected. Mostly sunny skies, mostly clear skies continuing as well throughout the trick-or-treat hours. But if you need some extra hours of sleep after all that candy you had there on Halloween, good news is the time change is going to occur here on Saturday night. We're going to fall back 1 hour there, so certainly turn your clocks back by the time you go to bed there on Saturday night. Hard to believe it's already time for that time change. Colts forecast here this weekend, heading up to Detroit, Michigan to take on the Lions here. Temperatures staying in the 40s with those windy conditions. Thankfully, they're going to be packed inside the dome there at Ford Field, so certainly go Colts here this weekend. We certainly need that win as we face the Lions this weekend. The next 6 to 10 days in the Climate Prediction Center outlook, we talked about that warming trend coming next week. So certainly above average temperature probabilities are in the forecast here. So certainly you'll see that reflected here on the mid 7-day forecast. A lot to unpack here. A cool Friday. By Halloween here, 58 degrees. Temperatures falling throughout the day on Sunday there, with windy conditions expected. Could be a stray shower or two as well as the cold front moves through. Warming up, though, quite considerably next week, back into the 60s.
Interesting. By the way, I totally forgot that daylight saving time is coming. Of course, we're going to be falling back, so hopefully people can recover in that food coma.
Yeah, first Sunday in November. It seems quite early, November 1st, about the earliest it can be, so don't forget.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Nathan is going to be back with us here in just a moment because you know what? The MAC is back. You know,
That's
he's
right.
a big Ball State football fan, so we're going to talk about a little bit of sports action. The MACtion is going to be returning. Plus, we're talking about the election in your Cardinal Weather News Minute. Don't go anywhere.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. Time to take a look at some of the top stories from this week in your Cardinal Weather News Minute.
So that's life insurance for employees over 65 or retirees.
Shouldn't you just shoot those people? Kidding.
Those comments are what led to a Muncie Public Works board member being removed from his position. When talking about retiree health insurance, Jerry Wise made comments Mayor Dan Ridenour deemed inappropriate. The board was looking to approve expenditures, including one for life insurance for employees 65 and older. Ridenour says his goal is to now repair the damage done by Wise's comments. And early voting continues across Indiana and the country. The state has surpassed the number of early votes Indiana had back in 2016. Voters we talked to say they believe COVID-19 is one of the several driving forces behind the large voter turnout. Election Day is Tuesday. And a friendly reminder, our sister show NewsLink Indiana is your election headquarters. Join us Tuesday for a special 1-hour edition of NewsLink Indiana from 9 to 10. We've got live coverage across Delaware County as well as in-studio analysis. Again, that's Tuesday on Cardinal Vision and the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page. And of course, we hope you join us then. And you know what? Hopefully you're going to be watching some Ball State sports here soon. MACtion is returning to Ball State and the country. Blake Dahlier, good morning to you, and Nathan Gidley. Hey there, guys.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Tyler. Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us. Sports Director Blake Dahlier here, along with Chief Weather Forecaster Nathan Gidley. And now we're 5 days, count them down, 5 days away from kickoff. And how exciting is that? Now, perhaps...
I felt like it would never happen, Blake.
I know, but lo and behold, we're here, and perhaps the team more ready than anyone.
Yeah, certainly really excited for that.
It's exciting. You know, watching all the other teams play throughout the fall was a little disappointing, but knowing that, you know, the MAC got on it and got on top of it and we're able to play now is exciting, and we're excited to be back and start playing football. Being able to get back to just playing football is going to be kind of the most fun part, and we're excited to do that.
I know our guys are excited, the staff is excited. We'll be ready to get to work knowing that we actually have an opponent on the schedule and we have something to work for.
Now, I don't know about you, Nathan, but this schedule is jam-packed with some interconference play. Should be really exciting. Let's take a look at that schedule real quick. Maybe throw in some picks and predictions, too.
Yeah, I got a lot going on here. There's a lot of tough matchups here, in my opinion. I don't know what really stands out here. Could be the fact that they've play Miami right off the bat. Normally Miami's the last team on the schedule for that key prize there, certainly the big red rivalry there. So certainly it's going to be interesting to play them right out the gate here to start.
Yeah, the battle for the Bronze Stock Trophy on there. And quite a few interconference games, always Toledo, a good matchup, and Central Michigan as well. Now, I got to ask, with the season starting up, obviously, usually you have to win 6 games to make a bowl game, but now we only have 6 games. So what's your record prediction going into the season?
Blake, you know my opinion about Ball State football. It's, I don't know, it's going to be a tough season. I'm going to go with 1-5.
1-5, wow. I mean, cut them a little slack. It's been such a tough offseason and everything. I got to give this team at least 4 wins. I say 4-2, and those losses, they're going to come in week 1 against Miami, and week 4, that'll be at Toledo. A couple really tough games that I think they'll drop, but after that, I think it's going to be smooth sailing.
Well, what I think comes down to is I'm not the biggest fan of this coaching staff, but that defense has got to step up and really gel with that coaching staff. And certainly the biggest thing is going to be completing the job here for Ball State, as a lot of the games, they were close. They were really close to that bowl game last year. They just couldn't get it done late in the stages of some games, so certainly that's going to be the key.
They were just one win away last year, so let's hope they can wrap things up this year.
Good morning out there, everybody. I know it's pretty chilly out there this morning, but we also chilly out there as well. And as you can see, take a look at the temperature like in Denver, 43 degrees in Denver, 32 degrees in Kansas City. Look at Dallas out there, 39 degrees this morning at this hour. It is pretty chilly across this country. You're going to see those highs. Those highs for today will be 64, so it's going to warm up a little bit in Dallas, 65 degrees in Denver, and 62 degrees in Billings. So we are going to see those temperatures warm up a little bit. As you take a look at the radar right now, there's not too much going on in the way of activity, but I'm going to take you a little bit towards the northeast, and I'm going to direct you there because that's just where most of our activity is going on at right now. We see some rain from Hurricane Zeta, but also take a look at some snow. We have some snow going on in the area as well, and that's pretty much where most of our activity is going on right now. As we see go out west, I'm going to take it out west right here. You're going to see that Vancouver, Seattle, see some light rain, also some snow up here in Canada at this time. So take your time when you go out there this morning. You're also going to take a look at the Washington warnings that's going on in the area. So I'm going to take you northeast to the east part. You can see there are some freeze warnings going on right now in Cincinnati. There is also some freeze warnings going on in the northeast. Sorry, we can also see some gale warnings out there in the coast, out there in the coast. We also see that we got some frost advisories going on right now, going on in Kentucky as well. We also have some high wind watches going on as well in North and South Dakota. We also have a high wind warning going on as well in Montana as well this morning. And we also see that we got high wind alerts going on in California and a little bit in Idaho and a little bit in Seattle as well. As you take a look at the precision cast tell you there's not going to be too much in the way of anything going on this morning, or actually today. We could have a little disturbance up here around Minneapolis at the end of the day tomorrow, but again, it's not going to be too much going on. The temperatures for tomorrow will be 63 degrees for Kansas City, 68 degrees for Dallas. As you take a look what's going on as we go through this weekend, Sunday is going to be pretty much going to be chilly as we go through, but we are going to warm up a little bit as we go through the week. And as you see, it's going to be pretty nice that we're going to see those 60-degree temperatures return back to our area early next week, and also warm up pretty much as we go through the country. So as you take a look right now, those temperatures are going to warm up a little bit as we go through the week, into next week. So we're going to see everything is going to be just fine at the end.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. And one final story for you before we go. Panera will begin soon serving pizza. They're going to be adding it to its regular menu. So here's the deal, folks. It's going to be available in several different varieties here. We're talking about cheese, margarita, chipotle chicken, as well as bacon. And they're going to be costing $8 to $9. And as we bring Nathan in for a final check of the weather, that sounds like a good deal. And by the way, I got to call you out. Really, 1-5?
Well, as a Ball State fan, I've become used to disappointment. But
Oh, come on, man.
Let's hope things move in a different direction this year. We all could use some positivity in here, but I'm sorry, I got to be honest here with you, Tyler. Let's take one last look here at the forecast, as we do see these temperatures are going to be nice when we get to Halloween there tomorrow. 58 degrees. Dropping temperatures, though, on Sunday as the cold front moves through, but warming back up next week. Nice weather for Election Day, and temperatures back in the 60s by the mid to late portions of next week.
All right, Nathan, thank you so much. We've got your latest headlines at 11:30 on Newslink Indiana Midday. Have a good day, everyone.